Everybody, it is the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Friday, it's a football Friday. And in a football Friday, we try to move on. We try to proceed into the next season. But I don't know if we're ready to move on. I'm not really sure. You know, it's been a long time since we thought about football. The Eagles coming off a bye, and they play a lousy team. And they're going to have their guys back, so by all measures, they should really not have a problem in this game. And then we'll be talking about them being 3-2 after Sunday. But the Phillies thing kind of lingers. And I don't know. We have Bill here. We have Ray here. The transition from baseball to football season is too soon for me. I can't do it yet. Now, we're going to handicap this game. We're going to go all over the map. We'll X and O it. We'll get into the dynamic now that there is a kumbaya, apparently, between the quarterback and the head coach, which I don't buy for a second. It's a good thing the Eagles play a lousy team because I don't think they're ready to play a good team. But let's talk about the dynamic of the manager of the Phillies as opposed to the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a disappointing loss for the Phillies, but I don't sense that there is really that much heat on Rob Thompson. I'm not getting that vibe that they want to get rid of the manager in this town. Bill, let me go to you. A disappointing loss. We've had a couple days now to digest it. Is there heat on Rob Thompson as much as there is on Sirianni?
No, I don't think that there is. And honestly, I don't think that there should be. As angry as I've been with Rob Thompson's decisions, just like I've said about Nick Sirianni, I think Rob Thompson deserves to come back for another chance. However, I will say, we talk about the epic collapse that the Philadelphia Eagles had last season, going from 10-1, losing 6 of 7, losing the wild card game in Tampa. I think this collapse of the Philadelphia Phillies exceeds the quote-unquote epic collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles last season, because even when the Eagles were 10-1, everyone knew they weren't that good. They didn't look that good. The defense was never good. They fired their defensive coordinator in the middle of the season. There were issues with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. This Phillies team, on the other hand, was one of the best teams we've ever seen before the All-Star break. They were a phenomenal baseball team. So for them to have the epic collapse, the second half of the season they had, and then to lose in their first round of the playoffs, to me, it was a worse collapse than your 2023 Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a second. No, come on, man. Seriously?
You don't think it was a worse collapse?
No. Because you said something that I think is a fallacy. When they were 10-1, there were just as many people saying they're a good team. They escape. Good teams escape. They win by any means necessary. And so that's what they were saying about the Eagles. They weren't saying, wow, 10-1, they're a bad football team. They weren't saying that. Come on.
The Philadelphia Phillies this season, you've said many times on this show, were a really good baseball team.
Yeah, I did.
They went 500 down the stretch.
Yeah, they did.
And they lost
I don't have an
3
explanation
of 4
for it.
against the Mets.
I don't have an explanation for that.
Is that not an epic collapse?
It is an epic collapse. It's not like losing 6 of 7 and getting smoked in the playoffs by a bad team.
I look at that Eagles team last season.
You're just a pro Sirianni guy
No,
and
it's
an
just
anti-Thompson guy.
The Eagles team last year was nowhere near as good as this Phillies team was supposed to be.
They were 10-1, Bill.
They had a terrible defense all year. They didn't have a good defense last season.
Well, we're splitting hairs here because it doesn't matter. The epic disappointment of this whole thing. But here's the thing I think Philadelphia fans are involved in right now. They're stuck in quicksand. Philadelphia fans right now are stuck in quicksand because one season, unless you're going to count the Sixers, one season here with the Eagles is not going to replace what just happened to the Phillies. Nobody's that excited about the Eagles. We're stuck in this quicksand mode where the Phillies lost. We have to process that. But the other thing is not going to lift our spirits.
It's not, but that's why I look at this game this weekend as a get-right game. It's a get-right game not only for the Philadelphia Eagles as a team, not only for the quarterback, not only for the head coach. It's a get-right game for the Philadelphia fan base because it has been a tough month. The way the Eagles have started, the way the Phillies season ended, we need to feel good. I don't care about style points sometimes. This weekend, I care about style points.
Let me ask you a larger question. The larger question is, do you believe this Eagles team has a chance to do anything special?
I still do.
You do?
I still do. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. But
you
they
think
have.
they can, what does special mean? Win a couple playoff games?
I think they could still win a couple playoff games if they can take care of the turnover issue. That's been a problem now.
Well, if you're right, then people do have to transition, but I don't think they have.
They should.
If that's what you're thinking, that this could turn out to be a special season, I don't know where you get that from. But if you think that, then fans have something to look forward to. So our line should be blown up today with Billisms.
Yes, I think people should jump all in with this Eagles team. There's issues. Don't get me wrong. There's issues. We got to figure out what's going on with this defense. We got to correct the turnovers. But you have that many weapons on offense, including Saquon, and now AJ and Devontae are back, and they're still figuring out the defense. I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you're rounding off the quarterback.
He's got to correct the turnovers. And I still have hope. I've been critical of Jalen for the past couple of weeks, and I've said every time, I still have hope that Jalen is going to be a good quarterback. He just needs to show it. He's got to stop making stupid decisions. He's got to stop fumbling the football and forcing the football. But if he does that, this offense has actually been okay outside of the turnovers to start the season.
All right. Well, on that note, I got a headline here. It says, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts had, quote, great moments together, which is what Jalen said. Can their confab save the coach's job? The Eagles quarterback said he huddled with the head coach during the bye week. It's a sign of stability that Sirianni deeply needs. Can we hear from Jalen on that little confab, Ray?
We're the true leaders of the team, and I'm happy and fortunate that, we were able to come together in harmony and have the same goal in mind and trying to get this thing right. I got a ton of confidence in him, a ton of confidence in what he brings and everything he's been able to accomplish, and just continue to press on that, Everybody goes through different moments. Everybody experiences adversity, but we've experienced different levels of adversity together, and we're excited for what's to come.
Come together in harmony. Are you believing that for a second?
What I'm believing is Bob Lang of the Philadelphia Eagles sat down with Jalen and said, look, this is how we're going to spin this. This is how we're going to spin this. But look, they had to do this. This is what we've been asking Jalen to do.
My God, it's so phony.
But
just do it. To do this. It's worse. It's worse by doing something like that.
I don't think so. I'm okay with it. This is what we've asked for. We don't need the little subtle comments, whatever. At least he made an attempt. Hey, maybe that's true. Maybe we're being too cynical, Mike. Maybe they are on the same page now. I'm not buying that. Even saying that out loud, I'm not buying it.
All right. Well, listen, I'm glad that you're feeling good about this. Because and we'll test it with the people. And this is what I love to do, test it with the people. I feel the Philadelphia fan base right now is in quicksand. They're in quicksand because of the hangover loss of the Philadelphia Phillies, but then the lack of optimism that this Eagles team can make up for anything. You think that this Eagles team still has playoff potential to win a couple of games in the playoffs. I don't see that.
Mainly because I think they can still win their division. I know that the Washington Commanders are the shiny object everyone's excited about right now. They still have a rookie quarterback. Things can change quickly. The Cowboys aren't that good. The Giants are still the Giants. They could win the division. You win the division, you get a home playoff game, anything can happen.
Okay.
But it starts this weekend. It has to be a get-right game this weekend.
9-point favorite for crying out loud. They're not going to lose this weekend.
But it's not just about
I'm talking
winning.
about the longer haul of this thing. Now, listen, I could be wrong. I'm not feeling enough right now that the Philadelphia fan base can see this Eagles team as something that's going to carry them through the turmoil of the Phillies. But we'll test it. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975, or you can text to the same number. 610-632-0975. It is a Football Friday. We'll have our fearless selections. Tim McManus will join us today, and it'll be a Football Friday as we transition from a disappointing baseball season to an exciting football season.
And what's more exciting, we get to hear from the head coach at 11:40.
That's right, the head coach. Confab. Harmonious.
We'll hear what he has to say about that meeting.
Mike Missanelli Show continues at the Brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payments with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. This is a terrible place for the Philadelphia fan base to be in, by the way, because I think they're stun-gunned.
They are.
For lack of a better term. You don't know where to turn when a disappointment like that with the Phillies happens. You know, it would really help if the next sport would pick you up and make you forget about it. But right now, they don't know what to make of the Eagles, and they've had plenty of time now to forget about the Eagles. You know, like we haven't even given the Eagles a thought for a long time.
Well, yeah, the way that the bye fell into place and the bad loss at Tampa. It is a weird place to be, even for us today, Mike. Like, I want to talk Eagles. I want to start preparing for the game.
They're not ready for it.
Yeah, but it's, we still got
Nobody's ready for it.
We're still mourning. We're still mourning.
Now, if they were playing the Cowboys or they were playing the Niners or they're playing some tough team, then we'd have a little more intrigue. But it's like, okay, well, they're expected to win this game. So what do I have to really be excited about? They'll win this game. What does that mean? They beat a crappy team coming out of a bye? What's that supposed to do for me?
That's exactly right. Well, that's why I think normally I would, in an NFL game, you've heard the cliches, any given Sunday. Normally I wouldn't care how they win. You have to see them dominate this game in 3 phases. They have to dominate to try to get this thing on the right path. And not only for the fan base, for themselves. I think they got to feel good about themselves.
Yeah. Also, I got this email from this guy. Now, this guy has been emailing me for years. I don't even know what his name is, but he emails me all the time. And he's the biggest fatalist ever, right? So this guy emails me with this. I just want to run this by everybody because I don't know if this is true or not. I think it's, frankly, if it was me, I think it's a ridiculous theory. But here's his theory, and I know a lot of people believe this. He says, why do you think when the expectations are high, Philadelphia teams always fall short? My theory is that star athletes can't handle the pressure of living up to the expectations that Philadelphia fans put on them. That is why when there are no expectations, Jalen Hurts play like an elite quarterback, but now that winning is expected, he is an interception machine. That is why players like Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz have mental health issues. And that is why the Sixers can't get past the second round, even though they try to surround Embiid with star players, but they always come up short. The Phillies won in 2008 because there was no pressure to win. Well, there was pressure to win. They were supposed to win. And the Eagles won in 2017 because Fultz was mentally tough enough to handle the pressure. And again, the expectations dropped when went down. What's your theory? Do you believe that star athletes can't handle the pressure of living up to the expectations that Philadelphia fans put on them?
No, I don't believe that. And as well thought out as that gentleman's email was, he lost me when he threw in Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that the pressure to perform for the Philadelphia fans, they could never meet.
Yeah, so what's Ben Simmons' problem everywhere else? Why hasn't he performed in Brooklyn?
Well, true. Yeah. So that probably doesn't apply. But he's saying that it's not the players' fault. He's saying it's the pressure that Philadelphia fans put on the players that's the wrong thing. You buying any of that?
No, because you talk about the 08 team. The 08 team, you're right. They were supposed to win the World Series in 08, and they performed. Jalen Hurts, we're saying there's no expectations. In 2022, when they went to the Super Bowl, the expectations were they were going to win, that they were the better team. And Jalen Hurts performed one of the best games he's ever had.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure in that game.
Let's look at the at-bat that Castellanos had where he swung at 2 sliders, got booed, and then got a derisive cheer when he laid off the other one. Now, is that a form of pressure that is unexpected and frankly, unwanted? That's what I think he's talking about. That kind of expectation that results to that level where an at-bat, and they did the same thing to Ryan Howard. Yeah. The lack of tolerance for stuff like that creates a pressure. Nick Castellanos reacted to that by saying these freaking people. Alec Boehm, I hate this play. Stuff like that. So is it too much pressure for those athletes, certain athletes?
Well, there's no denying Philadelphia is not the easiest place to play. It's a very tough fan base. It's a great fan base, but it's a tough fan base. But you're Castellanos. He gets that Bronx cheer. What does he do that night?
Well,
He hits the walk-off.
He did, but he's a different type of cat. Other people may not be that type of cat. So what he's saying, it's Philadelphia and not the athletes that's the problem.
Or it's the type of athletes that have not been able to perform in Philadelphia, because he also mentions that Nick Foles had the mental toughness to do it. So there are certain athletes who don't have a problem performing in this city. So if you're not tough enough to play in this city, then I don't think you should be here. I don't think the fan base needs to change. It's a tough, very passionate fan base. And when they love you, man, they love you. I mean, you've heard what Jason Kelce says, Brian Dawkins has said.
Can we be less tough and still be effective as a fan base?
I don't know, man. We both grew up here. I can't imagine it being any other way.
No, I'm just asking the rhetorical question. Could we be less tough? Could we not boo two swinging strikes
in a playoff game?
Right.
Maybe. Like I don't necessarily like the boos that come out very early, especially.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I am an advocate of tough fans. I don't like the booing a little bit. I just don't. I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't know why you would boo.
Like, I'm okay with booing now. Phillies collapse. Phillies lose. All right, let's talk. Let's analyze Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos, what they didn't do. But in the moment, in the middle of a game that's not over, I don't like the booing. Like, I used to hate when I used to work at the Eagles and we would head into the locker room at halftime.
Boo? The performance?
Not only the boos. I mean, the things that these fans would yell down to the players at halftime. It's like, oh, my God. It could be like a 14-10 game, and you're getting killed as you're running into
Let's bring young Ray in here. Ray, you're of a generation, a different generation. What do you think about this concept?
I will say the comments I can have without. The booing, it's a way to show displeasure. And honestly, if you're getting booed, you're not doing something right. And if you don't know you're not doing something right, then maybe you got to figure it out.
I can think an overall performance, a weak overall performance in a first half would deserve the boo. I'm not so sure that swinging at two sliders deserve a boo. I think that takes it to another level.
When the offense has done what for the last 15 innings in a series that you should probably be winning? At that point, you had people that were ready to turn the season over and just say it's done with. Like at that point, you're watching everything flail in front of you.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I look at. I don't believe that they're trying to be bad. No, they're not. They're not trying to be bad to get a boo. I think everybody who plays a professional sport wants to accomplish. They're not in there not to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't happen when they don't accomplish.
Yeah, 100%. I'd like to think that everyone that shows up to work wants to do a good job. Somebody's going to tell you if you're not doing a good job. And in this case, for fans, that's your role here. Like, I think that's perfectly fine. To this emailer's point, I would ask you, Boston a very easy place to play? They seem to win all the time. Is it all of a sudden the fans' fault that we don't have teams that get it done?
I don't know. Is Boston as rabid as we are here? Would Boston boo us two swinging strikes of that sliders?
Well, I mean, the Red Sox fans now have gotten used to crap because they're. But whatever. When it comes to them up there in Boston, yeah, I think they're just as rabid, just as crazy as us. Okay. They seem to win a ton.
So explain. We're going to go into a break. Explain where you think the Philadelphia fan base is right now, with one sport having to buoy the other, and I believe they don't have any faith that this team can buoy the other.
Oh, I'm supposed to believe in the Eagles?
Where are you?
Where am I with that right there?
Are you part of the fan base that where are you exactly with this?
I think the stun gun thing
Are you optimistic that the Eagles can wipe away what the Phillies did, like Bill? Bill's optimistic about it.
No, I think your stun gun thing is absolutely right with me right now. I think I'm still just numb of like, what did I just witness? I know we have to get to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. My focus on the Eagles right now has been very, very lackluster because of the fact of what happened this week.
Okay, if you can look into the future, though, if you can look hard at this whole season, Bill is very optimistic that they can be that team that would erase what the Phillies just did. Are you?
I'm optimistic they can give us a fall and early winter that erases the Phillies' heartbreak because we at least can talk ourselves into something. I look at the rest of the NFC right now, and that's my greatest
So
cause
you
for hope.
see accomplishment with this team. You see Eagle accomplishment.
If you consider the postseason accomplishment, yeah.
I'm saying winning in the postseason. Do you see that?
One bad wild card matchup, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. And I think you're talking about saving the fan base. Did you see Ray's shirt today?
Ray's, what? What's he doing? I didn't see it.
He's got a Fly Guy shirt on.
Oh,
today.
everybody's wearing Flyer gear.
Flyered up, man.
Flyers may save
Flyers
us.
tonight
The
at
new
10
era of
o'clock
orange.
in Vancouver.
Are they going to be the ones that save the fan base, Mike?
No.
610.
610-632-0975. Back after this. And it's the Mike Missanelli Show, 610-622-0975. Flyers start tonight. The Sixers have a preseason game against the Timberwolves. Joel Embiid is not playing again. He has a scheduled assessment of his knee. Now, I hate to go down this road, but I'm already worried about the load management of Joel Embiid. They are being so overly cautious about this. He supposedly came back, lost weight, the whole bit, and now they're overly cautious. They're going to treat him in bubble wrap all year, which means do they win enough games to get a favorable seed?
Couldn't care less, man. As long as Embiid is healthy come playoff time, I don't care.
So what do you want to do? You want to burn the whole regular season?
Whatever. Look, the good thing this year, and I know Andre Drummond is not Joel Embiid, but the good thing this year is when you don't have Embiid in the lineup, at least Drummond can give you something. They didn't have a backup center last year that could hold their own when Embiid wasn't there.
All right. I just,
Just win enough games. I mean, what do you need? If they're a top, as long as they're not in the play-in tournament, I'm fine. Just make the damn playoffs, and as long as Paul George, Joel, and Tyrese
team
are
has
healthy.
gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals if you're not 3 seed and up.
But that's skewed a little bit.
The
Why?
Heat.
The Heat did it with Butler a couple years ago.
One team?
But the reason that's skewed is most times the reason they're not a top 3 seed is because the team's not that good. If the Sixers aren't a top 3 seed because they simply rested their star players for load management purposes, then I'm okay with their chances in a postseason.
All right. I don't like it.
Well, at least you said you don't like the load management. I thought what you were going to do to our fan base was say you were worried about Embiid's health because I don't think they're not ready for that.
I'm worried about them treating it too gingerly. All right. They haven't even started yet, so what am I worrying? I got enough worries.
Yeah, we
I got enough worries with what's going on right now. And we'll get into a handicap in this game against the Browns and Deshaun Watson. And oh my God, his numbers are so grisly.
They're terrible.
I can't believe it. All right, let's go to the phones and start off with Joe and Fox Chase. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe.
Yo, Mike, how you doing?
What's up, Joe? How are you?
Mike, I'm sitting here driving down the shore. I still have my Phillies jacket on. I want to go see Game 5, Wheeler. I still can't believe it, Mike. I can't get, I'm an Eagles guy too, but I'm still baseball. I'm so disappointed. And Mike, let me just tell you this. Bob Thompson, he's okay. He's a good manager. He'll be back. I want him back. I like him. But does he make every decision right? No, I don't think so. I'll give you an example. Game 3. Somebody's on first. Nobody out. Who's up? Rojas. The worst hitter on our team. And he's swinging away. Why doesn't he bunt him over? We're struggling to get runs. Bunt, move him over. If he lays the bunt down, they got to field it, throw it. He could end up getting on first, for God's sake. But worst case scenario, he moves him over to second. The next guy gets a single. Well, we don't get a run because we didn't move him over. Thompson's fault there. But overall, not every managers don't make every decision right, and Rob didn't. Turner, in the final game, he takes a strike right down the middle. Then he works the count to a full count, and then he swings at a ball. He literally, Mike, if you look at this, you'll see he goes down on his right knee to swing at this ball. It is in the dirt.
Yeah, I've actually seen him hit a home run with going down on that one knee. So, listen, hitters have to recognize the pitch, and he didn't recognize a lot of pitches. So you're right. It was totally frustrating, Joe.
So many times they don't recognize. But I believed in the last inning with Schwarber, I pictured a 3-run homer, and we win this game in extra innings. I was right to the final swing. I believe I never give up, Mike. I
hear you, Joe. You never give up. I thought everybody thought the same thing. Schwarber could maybe do some heroics, but the key at bat was Cody Clemens.
Would you
got him in a favorable count and just missed 2 fastballs.
What do you think of the decision to go with Clemens there?
Well, he had him in a game, didn't he?
I think he pinch hit for Weston Wilson there, didn't he? Ray, was that Clemens' first at bat?
I thought it was.
I think it was. I think he pinch hit for Wilson because you had a righty on the mound.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to have Wilson face Diaz.
You didn't want to turn it over to their big acquisition, Austin Hayes?
No, it's a righty against righty.
I know. I'm just
kidding.
kidding.
To have the lefty in there.
I think he's your only. Who else do you have on the bench?
He just missed 2 fastballs. What are you
Stubbs,
going to
man.
do?
Yeah, your only other left-handed bat would have been Stubbs, right? Besides Clemens, so he's the only guy you could go to there.
Exactly. You weren't going to go to him. Clemens is good. Like, listen, you have faith in Clemens. He just missed 2 fastballs.
He's come up big this season.
He has. He's got a few good hits for him. But, see, he made me relive that now. I'm trying to make the transition.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard. But Joe, when he talked about Schwarber, I leaned forward on the couch.
Yeah, he was 0 for 9 against Diaz.
But I'm like, he's going to do it.
When he stepped up there.
Schwarber's going to do it. He's going to save the season.
He shouldn't be 0 for 9 against a guy like Diaz. Like, I look at that stat and I go, how's that even possible? Like, Diaz is such a mistake pitcher. Like, he throws hard, but he's going to give you a pitch to hit. Like, how does Schwarber not put a barrel on one of those fastballs that he throws? That's peculiar.
It is. It's an outlier. That's why I thought maybe there was a shot that he would have finally got to him. Oh, man, you're right. Why are we reliving this pain?
No, we're reliving it now. He brought it up. Joe from Fox Chase brought it up.
We're still in pain.
I'm trying to go through the transition, but see, it's not the transition's not moving me. It's moving you guys. It's just, which is really interesting. And I go, is there what do I have with this team?
Is there anything the Eagles can do this weekend that would help you with the transition?
No, not this weekend.
Because it's Cleveland.
They would have to win 4 in a row.
What if they come out and they dominate the Browns? Every aspect of the game.
It's a bad football team. I get nothing from beating up on a bad football team. So they would have to show me at least 3 or 4, and depending on what that loss would be like, they've got a big wall to climb for me at this point.
Well, that Cincinnati game in this 4-game stretch looks a little harder now. Even though they didn't win, they played tough last week, the Bengals against the Ravens. But, hey, Mike, there's no way they can lose this game.
No, they can't lose.
If they lose this game, I don't know if
Who
the fan
picked
base
them to lose? Did you see somebody picking them to lose?
Yeah, some guy on CBS made his bold prediction that the Browns beat the Eagles.
It's almost impossible with the quarterback play they're getting. They can't. How could they win a game here with that quarterback?
Now,
But if
they go at halftime and say, you know what? This Deshaun Watson guy's not it.
what are we doing, Jameis Winston?
Famous Jameis
Let's eat that
comes into the
W.
game.
Wait.
Let's eat that W.
Jameis Winston is going to rescue them in the second half. What are we talking about here?
Exactly. That's how bad it is for Deshaun Watson right now.
He can't be worse than Deshaun. But
Last week, he was 1 for 13 on 3rd downs. He had 125 yards passing, 4.5 yards per attempt.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
Yeah.
He can't play.
His 4.8 yard per attempt this season is the lowest in the NFL. He got sacked 7 times last week. How on earth is he going to come in here and beat the Eagles? He's horrible right now.
I'm with you 100%, but God forbid the Browns beat the Eagles. I don't know if this fan base would be able to handle it. I think they'd be out. They'd be out on the Eagles. They wouldn't have the Phillies. I don't. Please, the Eagles need to win on Sunday for all of our well-being, especially Ray Dunn, who still looks like he's at a funeral.
Now listen, they're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback here because their pass defense has not been great, the Eagles. The Eagles' pass defense, 93.1 rating against their cornerbacks and 7 touchdowns. The 2 interceptions. Slay, you ready for this? Slay, you know what his rating is when targeted?
What's that?
125.
Oh, my God.
And he's the one yapping about how good he is. C.J. Gardner has allowed 4 touchdowns. So if they don't get pressure on the quarterback, it is possible that maybe Deshaun Watson completes a few passes. He does have Cooper. He's got the Njoku.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're talking about how bad the Eagles' defense has been. The passing offense for the Browns is 30th in the NFL. They're averaging 143 yards a game. 143.
They are horrible, but they do run the football.
They do, but their rushing attack is 27th. So they're not.
Last week they ran it pretty well at Jerome Ford.
Well, Jerome Ford is averaging, I believe, over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So, but they just haven't given him the ball that much because I think they've gotten behind in games. Yeah, he's averaging 5.2 yards a carry, and the Eagles' rushing defense has given up 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So that's the only shot they have.
They don't have a shot.
Is if they beat them on the ground.
This is the bigger picture. The Eagles will win this game. The bigger picture is, can this team pull us out of this quicksand? Like, this team's got to be the tow truck that has a rope connected, and it sucks us right out of this void.
If they dominate this weekend, I think it's a good start. I think people will start to come around if they see this team dominate. Because, look, you didn't have A.J. Brown for 3 games. He's back. Devontae Smith's back. Maybe Sidney Brown is back.
They'll win this game by 2 touchdowns. I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about whether this team, even if they beat this bad team by 2 touchdowns, whether this team can sustain any kind of an excellence to get us optimistic about a season.
What if they win by 2 touchdowns, and then at midfield of Lincoln Financial Field, you see Jalen and Nick Sirianni hug and then skip off holding hands together? Does that make you feel a little bit better? Maybe they skip
Crazy
off into the locker room.
over here.
Can I hear about the confab again? Because I love to listen to the quarterback talk.
We're the true leaders of the team, and I'm happy and fortunate that, we were able to come together in harmony and have the same goal in mind and trying to get this thing right. I got a ton of confidence in him, a ton of confidence in what he brings and everything he's been able to accomplish, and just continue to press on that, Everybody goes through different moments. Everybody experiences adversity, but we've experienced different levels of adversity together, and we're excited for what's to come.
I can't. You got to get to that in slow steps. You can't go from we have our moments to we're together in harmony. You can't go there. You can't go from A to Z. There's got to be an in between, because that sounds phony as hell to me.
Yeah, so if you were the Eagles PR, you would have handled it a little bit differently, because that's why you did this.
That's over the top, and we know it's not over the top. Like, what could they have possibly done?
I don't know.
Had a Slurpee together with 2 straws? Like, what could have happened?
See, I can't be mad, because this is what I've been wanting. I said it after he talked about we have our moments. Said, just lie. Just lie to us. Tell us you're fine. So he did it. I can't be upset. But it is a little much that he went from we have our moments to this harmonious relationship.
Come on, man.
Bigger lie this week. Aaron Rodgers loves Robert Saleh, or they are best friends now?
They're tied in lies. Sean on the cell. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Sean.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How are you, buddy?
Good. I'm like, with that, y'all just played that with Jalen talking. I was thinking about that earlier, too. What the heck is he talking about? Like, I want to know, like, how do you understand that? Like, it's just too much. Like, why can't we just play football and be grinding it out and everything? Why is that type of talk is even – that's why I said this. The media, not saying it's y'all fault, but y'all, we talk too much to these people, and they then they gotta read their phones. They gotta hear about this and hear about that. It's so much going on. Then you have the Dig Dug factor. You ever play that video game Dig Dug? We blew up Bryce Harper's head, blew his head all the way up, right? And he ain't never won nothing. He don't have no rings nowhere. He got 1 ring, I'm sorry. He don't have no rings here in Philadelphia. He has nothing here. He hasn't done anything since he's been here but rock a couple balls over the fence. And y'all went crazy for him.
Come on. Hold. You're
misplaced right now.
You're going too nuts. His numbers in the postseason are up there with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, for crying out loud. He hasn't done anything. One guy can't win a title in baseball. He had 25 men on a team.
Yes, but I mean, okay. I'll give you a prime example. The pitcher. What's his name? Give me a pitcher's name real quick. The one that just lost the last game, the game before this one.
Nola?
No, yeah, Aaron Nola. Y'all blew Aaron Nola name up all crazy.
Nobody blew him up. Come on, what do you mean? You got fiction. You're giving us fiction. Nobody blew Aaron Nola up. They said he was a good 2-starter.
In the last 5 years, all he has done has given up awesome plays in the playoffs and loses the game. I'm like, why?
What is that, Sean? What is your point here? That we're too hard on Hurts and not enough on other players?
No.
What? What are you talking about?
Basically, what I'm saying is, as far as talking to these people, like, we got to give them a chance to focus, because every time.
What are you talking about? We don't have to give them anything. We're fans. We're not. Are we on their payroll?
But how can you focus?
How can you focus? Because you're a professional athlete. It comes with the territory. How can you focus? What are you talking about? How can you focus if you got a boss that's hard on you? How can you focus? You got to do the job.
Yes, you do, but he's not coming at you every 4 seconds with this.
Oh, stop it. This is professional sports. It comes with the territory. It's why you make $60 million a year. Stop with your nonsense.
I still say it's the focus.
Get out of here. Your focus, your sister.
And
We're ruining their focus. Come on. I hate that. It's the worst thing you possibly say.
I firmly believe if that's the case with a player, then I don't want him here in Philadelphia anyway. If you're that weak-minded that you're going to let something that we say on the radio or something that the fans are saying on social media affect you, then I don't think you're mentally tough enough to play professional sports.
When you sign that big contract, you know what that comes with? Scrutiny. That's what it comes with. And if you're not prepared for that, then don't sign the freaking contract. If you're going to be one of the highest paid players in the league, you're going to have scrutiny. You're going to be questioned about every little thing. That is part of the landscape.
You look at a guy like Hurts, too. This isn't unique to Philadelphia. This guy played at Alabama. You think there's scrutiny down in Alabama when you're an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid? Then he goes to Oklahoma. There's scrutiny at these big programs.
This is a big city. This is not some Midwestern enclave. Come on. This is a major north to east corridor city. There's going to be attention paid to sports. They're going to question if you don't get along with the head coach because that leads to whether your team's going to have success or not. And that's what fans are in it for. They're invested in your success.
And when things are good, there's no better place to play than in front of the Philadelphia fans.
Come on, man. God, that gets me off.
Oh.
No, it really does. It sends me into a bad place. We get too hard on your players.
I think, but, you and I agreed. The booing in the middle of a game is probably a little much. But the scrutiny is
for
different.
A swing and miss. Like if you have a bad performance in a game, you commit a couple errors. You're displeased as a customer. If you're down 14-3 at halftime to a bad football team, you're displeased as a customer. If you get shut out in the first period of a hockey game, you're going to hear some rumblings. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. a little. Kenny, Nick, no, it's yeah. Her there. I don't. We, I, your law firm prepare and hire this
Here, you know, Phillies, work, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, get so much what I